Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. I have an important announcement to share with you today, so I thought I'd just take some time and share this on a video with you. So the Florida Conference, as many of you know, they have closed down the churches really for the last about 2 months, and they've decided to essentially open churches, you could say. That may not be the best way of putting it. What they're really doing is they're transferring authority to local churches to decide when to reopen. And June 20th is the date that they're allowing that to happen. So there's been some misunderstanding about this. Some have thought that the conference is reopening all the churches, and that's not the case. So starting in the next couple of weeks, what you're going to see is some Adventist churches will be reopening and some won't be for now, and it's going to be happening as is decided by each local congregation through the voting of the church board and consultation with the pastor. So we had a board meeting last night on Zoom, which is basically an online application where we can all meet virtually. And we had a board meeting and we had a discussion that was really, I'd say, about 2 hours long. We discussed this quite a bit, and the board came up with July the 11th as a tentative date for us to start having worship services in our church building again. Now, I say tentative because there are a lot of guidelines that the conference is expecting us to follow. We've assembled a team to help us to go through those guidelines and make sure we're doing all those things. And we really want to monitor the situation here locally here in Lee County. There has been a spike in COVID-19 cases in the state of Florida. So far, it seems that Lee County is staying relatively stable, but 4 weeks away is a long time, and so that's why we're saying it's tentative. That's the tentative plan, and as long as there's nothing that comes up that would make it unwise, unsafe, for us to meet on that date, then that's the date we're aiming for and the date we're expecting to reopen. We will still be live streaming our services. So for those who, for whatever reason, just choose to stay at home, see that as a safer option, then yes, the services will be live streamed, but instead of us recording it in settings like you see now, where we're at home or at the church or different places, in my office and everybody's in a different place, we'll actually be doing the service in the sanctuary and just live streaming that literally live at that time. It does bring up some challenges, because one of the guidelines that the conference has is we are not to have children's Sabbath school divisions. They said we can have adult Sabbath school, but they want social distancing in place. So basically what that means is we can't have the type of classrooms that we normally have. It has to be lecture style Sabbath schools in a sanctuary where people can spread all out. They don't even want people passing microphones around. So it really creates a real challenge for a traditional Sabbath school that is discussion oriented. So we discussed this at the board as well. And we think that probably the best thing to do is to continue having Zoom Sabbath school, but instead of having it before the church service, we will have it sometime in the afternoon. Because obviously we can't have Zoom Sabbath school if some people are going to be driving, to the church building in order to be a part of the worship services. So the guidelines that are in place are fairly stringent, and that's why we're assembling a team to make sure that we're following these guidelines. It's basically having things available like masks. They're encouraging everyone to wear a mask when coming. We'll even have masks available for people. There'll be hand sanitizer stations. There will be spacing between pews, so every other pew will be unavailable for seating. So there's different things like that we'll be working on and putting together. But as of now, July 11th is the date that we're targeting to do this. So if you would just keep that situation in prayer, would appreciate it. And look forward to hopefully seeing many of you soon. God bless.